Good day, Amherstburg. It's myself, Laura D'Alessandro.
And it's Ron Giofu from the Rivertown Times, back on the airwaves of 107.9 CKBG The Berg for the Rivertown Times Week in Review.
Well, for most kids, it's Wednesday, but it feels like Monday. No buses ran yesterday and no buses ran on Monday. So kids are back in school today, but it's not any warmer out there.
Yeah, exams got delayed. I know PA Day got pushed back from, I think it was supposed to be Friday. Now it's Monday.
Oh, I didn't know that. I probably should be on the know.
Probably, yeah.
So high school kids don't start till Tuesday?
If memory serves, yeah. There's they have to reshuffle exams, reshuffle all kinds of stuff just to accommodate snow days. And
you heard it here first.
The kids are back in school and doing the high school kids doing their exams, and good luck to everyone. And that's not a time of year I enjoyed when I was in high school. And yes, we had exams back in the long ago. So in that one-room schoolhouse I grew up in, I know you're...
Wrote it on a chalkboard?
Exactly. I know you're anxious to give me a shot there. So...
Yeah, it's cold. Take care of yourselves. You know, even outside shoveling, take breaks. You know, it's very, very cold, and it doesn't take long for frostbite to set in. And I know with my pets too, you have to be careful with those dogs outside. And I have rabbits, so I'm really keeping a close eye on what they can handle outside too. So we'll all get through it. Sunny days are ahead, right, Ron?
Absolutely. Before long, we'll be complaining it's too hot.
Right?
It's too
Heat
much
warnings.
humidity. Well, it doesn't rain today, and I want to go out and work in the garden.
At least you don't have to shovel the rain.
Exactly.
All right, turning our attention to the paper, the Marsh Collection held their opening reception of their latest exhibit, Small Town Big Industry, and that was held at the Gibson Gallery last Friday night. And it looked like it was very well attended. I know you were there, Ron, and it's ongoing now through February.
It is, runs through February 22nd, details the history of Brunner Mond, Allied Chemical, General Chemical, the various incarnations thereof. And I know the team at the Marsh Historical Collection did a great job. Meg Reiner, the collections coordinator, her team at the Marsh, and they did a wonderful job. And they had a kickoff reception last Friday, as you mentioned.
It was sold out.
It was, yeah. It was a ticketed event, and all tickets were sold. They had a great crowd. And that was the only part of the event that you'll have to pay for, because the exhibit itself is free. So you get to it's the entire main exhibit space at the gallery, not necessarily the back room, but the kind of the main big room that you walk into when you first enter the gallery is all the history of General Chemical, Allied Chemical, Brunner Mond, whatever name you know it by. They did a great job. There's all kinds of artifacts. There's accounts from employees, just all different types of equipment that they have on hand. And Meg was telling me last Friday that they had a lot of stuff already at the Marsh, but they've got a lot more now after speaking with, I think she said about, 16 employees. And they have first-hand accounts, and she joked that she knows more about soda ash production than she did going in. So
who can say that? Not many.
Not really, no. And so it is open weekends. So the gallery you can go there from 11 till 5 every Saturday and Sunday at the Gibson Gallery here in Amherstburg, 140 Richmond Street. So it's a wonderful partnership between the Marsh Historical Collection and the Gibson Gallery. And again, it's Saturdays and Sundays, 11 till 5. Free to enter. I'm sure they would appreciate donations, but you don't have to pay to get in. Come check it out. And it's through every weekend through February 22nd.
The Essex Region Conservation Authority presented their annual conservation awards last week in Essex, and Amherstburg received quite a few.
Yeah, there were 3 awards presented to Amherstburg residents, Amherstburg students, and the town of Amherstburg themselves.
That's awesome.
The Robert Pulley Blank Environment Award. That's not the official name of it. I don't have it in front of me. But the town of Amherstburg won that. Mayor Michael Prue on hand to accept that. Brad and Sherry Nelson, Amherstburg residents, won the Volunteer Award, so congratulations to them. They're heavily involved in a lot of environmental initiatives through WRCA, so they were given an award. And Madison Kemp, a student at North Star High School, had been a member of the ECO team and member of the Greater Essex County District School Board Student Senate. She also won an award. She won the Youth Award, and that's 3 of the 6 awards that were handed out at the Conservation Awards last Thursday night in Essex. And it's become an annual tradition with WRCA. They have their AGM and have their environmental awards to go along with it. A total of 6 were passed out last Thursday night at the Civic Center. And we've got a full story on both online and in this week's issue of the RTT. And so make sure you check that out. And congratulations to all winners. Again, it was part of the AGM that IRCA has every year. And speaking of awards, they handed out staff awards. 4 staff members were honored. Ashley Gorey and Bevan Martin were for 10 years of service. Chris Ives, who's a curator out at John R. Park Homestead, she was recognized for 25 years of service with the Conservation Authority. And Tim Burney, the CAO with the Conservation Authority, was recognized for 40 years of service. And he's been around ever since I've been around, and I've been around 30 at doing this newspaper gig in town through 2 different newspapers. And Tim's a fixture with the Conservation Authority, and he plans on being there a lot longer. I know a lot of dignitaries recorded videos, and some of which were played at the AGM. And so congratulations to all the winners. Again, we got full coverage in this week's RTT.
Was anything brought up about the possible merger and what lies ahead for IRCA?
It actually was covered somewhat extensively. There was opposition still remains to the provincial legislation that would reduce the number of conservation areas in Ontario from 36 to 7. I know board members made remarks about it, and one of those being, of course, Molly Allaire, the Amherstburg Town Councillor. Molly was reacclaimed as the chair of the Conservation Authority, and she touched on it in her remarks. Others spoke on it as well. I know Windsor City Councillor Kieran McKenzie, himself a former IRCA chair, he spoke on the issue, and we had coverage in this week's RTT. And I mentioned Molly is reacclaimed as the chair. Windsor City Councillor Jim Morrison has been reacclaimed as the vice chair, and he spoke on it as well. And we have full coverage in this week's issue of the RTT. And again, that's as I mentioned, the AGM is they take care of the business of the Conservation Authority, like most organizations do when they have their annual general meeting. Take care of business they do on an annual basis, like i.e. the chair, the vice chair, the insurance provider, auditor, all the fun stuff. Then they get into the awards. All that was covered in a couple stories in this week's issue of the Rivertown Times. So make sure you check it out in print or online at www.rivertowntimes.com.
Last Friday, you and I headed out to the House Youth Centre, and we met with Morgan and Amy there as they prepare for the coldest night of the year, which I think might be tonight.
It certainly seems like it.
The fundraiser will be February the 28th, and we're proud to report that we're one of the supporting sponsors with our donation towards the House Youth Centre. But you did a story on them. We have it covered in this week's paper, so I'm sure there's a little bit more that you want to get into on that one.
Yeah, so check it out on page 4. I mean, they're always looking for teams. They're always looking for sponsors and donors. And
route sponsors, I think, is the big one this year.
Yeah, route sponsors, motivational sponsors, and so you can contact the house for how you can get involved. And obviously, if you want to walk that evening, they have 2K and 5K routes throughout the town. So you'll see people in blue and yellow toques on the night of February the 28th. That's a Saturday night. Leaving from the hub, the Amherstburg Community Hub, about 5 p.m. So if you see that and you wonder what's going on, it's the coldest night of the year. But hopefully you'll know what's going on before that through reading our article on page 4 and all their social media posts. As I trip over. Yeah, that's the ticket. And so make sure you check those out. And it's www.cnoy.org/Amherstburg for more information on the Amherstburg coldest night of the year. Of course, this is an initiative that's all around the country. So, but it's the local event is for the House Youth Center. They're trying to raise $50,000, and it's www.cnoy.org/Amherstburg. If you want to volunteer, they're looking for volunteers as well. It's almost the same website, just a different name at the end. So it's cnoy.org/volunteer. So all that's in the story on page 4 of the website. All of that's on page 4 of this week's Rivertown Times in the print edition. And it's on our website at www.rivertowntimes.com.
Other stories in this week's paper is the Windsor Police Service Amherstburg Detachment has released its policing stats for 2025. A fire at a home under construction in Lakewood Beach Drive. That was last week as well. Lots to cover in this week's paper, so be sure to pick it up or read it online.
Yep, building stats and
the building stats, yeah.
That's in there too, and we have coverage from last Wednesday night's meeting of Essex County Council, so thanks to Fred Groves on that one. And so pick up this week's issue of the RTT.
All right, turning our attention to sports. The Admirals weren't able to secure the win against the Essex 73s. They fell just a little short, losing 3-2, but they were able to secure the win against the Walpole Island Wild 5-1.
Yeah, they were in Walpole Island last Thursday night and picked up the big road victory. Again, as you said, 5-1. They were back at the Libro Center on Saturday, and they fell a little bit short. A goal, I think, with about a minute 12 left in the third period.
Eh? That's good.
And again, Essex is a really strong team. They're one of, if not the top teams in all of the province in the Provincial Junior Hockey League. So they ended up losing 3-2, and there's no moral victories, I guess you could say, but they still have to be somewhat pleased that they hung tough against a very talented Essex squad. But unfortunately came a minute 12 from at least picking up a point against the 73s. They're back in action on Saturday night when the Wheatley Sharks come to town. They had been scheduled to play the Walpole Island Wild again on this past Sunday at the Libro Center. Obviously, we got dumped on by all that snow that prevented travel of the Wild getting to Amherstburg. That game was postponed. We'll publicize the makeup date when we know it. We do know the makeup date of the January 15th game. That game was to be in Harrow against the Blenheim Blades. That will now be Friday, February 6th at Tecumseh Arena. 7:30 face-off for that one. So we'll stay on top of all the Admirals news. And again, they got a pair of weekend games this coming weekend. Saturday night being the home game against Wheatley. Sunday night they're in Blenheim. And we'll stay on top of everything for you.
North Star Sports, they had a busy week last week, heading into the winter exam break this week.
Yeah, I covered the basketball team. They were at they were home to Sandwich and fell short to the Sabres, 100-47. And I know volleyball was in action as well. We're gonna have, even though they're off this week, I'm still thinking I'm gonna do kind of get caught up on some of the sports I didn't get in this week. So we'll get caught up in that. So again, as you mentioned that they're off this week, in the aforementioned exam break. The teams don't play because they're too busy studying and writing exams, as they should be.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. Right, Luca?
Exactly, yeah. Well, some students are
Some are playing pond hockey with their friends.
Hopefully he's at least learning something as he's playing pond hockey and the physics of how hard to pass the puck and wind chill and all about the climate and how cold it gets.
Right.
And
there's lessons being learned. I'm not sure what they are.
Exactly, yeah. Maybe learning a few swear words out there when the puck skips off a rut in the ice. Who knows?
All right. So that's kind of a recap on the paper. We had sports and everything else that was highlighted in the paper. We're going to hit on some community events. The Park House Museum, they're doing an indoor fundraising yard sale that I am absolutely stoked about. That's going to be Friday, February 7th and 8th. We have an ad in the paper. They've been kind of sharing things on social media about what they have to peruse and look over. It just screams Laura. It's all things old. Oh. Just like you. Anyway.
So, Dominic, if you're listening, there's going to be probably another room full of stuff after she gets done shopping at the Park House.
I thought we were friends. You're not supposed to tell.
Be forewarned.
So that fundraiser is February 7th and 8th from 10 to 4 at the Park House. The Columbus Community Hall is hosting a senior dance and meal. That's Tuesday, February 10th at 3. And if memory serves, I think the tickets are $12. Encounter Church, they're continuing their Thursday night dinners. That starts at 5:30?
It's actually at 5 o'clock.
5 o'clock.
It's in cooperation with Feeding Windsor Essex at 5 o'clock every Thursday. Encounter Church, 125 Alma Street.
What a great way to have some fellowship and get a warm meal, right? And coming up, Friday the 13th, Friday Night Live, the first one of the year.
At St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church.
Yeah, that's right. Friday Night Live. So it's a regular feature at St Andrew's Church. We love doing it. We have all sorts of people in the community that are talented musicians who turn up and, lend their talents. It's a great evening. We serve snacks. There's all sorts of things going on, not just music as well. There's some talented storytellers. We try and make it fairly eclectic. I did a turn last time. I hope it went down well, which was a kind of a strange tale that I told with a puppet and other things going on. But anyway, Friday Night Live, Friday, February the 13th from 7 till 9 p.m. It's a totally free event. I'm going to be there with my wife, so the Doc and the Rev, as we're called, Johnny Mack, who organises a lot of it, The Remains, Phil Nitz and Monique Belanger, and Joe and Rachel Perry.
So you use the word talented quite a bit. You have to be talented to be part of the show. Like, is there something that Ron could do?
Yeah, we've got a very kind of low...
It's a low bar of talent.
That's right, yeah. So,
Ron does do some. He stands at the back of people's way and takes pictures. And
Oh, that's a talent.
I guess
Blend into the wall.
and tries not to be distracting to the performers. I'm probably failing, but I try.
You try. Well, it's the day before your birthday, too.
that is true, yeah. So if you do come, bring me a present.
Perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't show up unless you have a present for Terrence.
Oh, and I should just mention the theme is going to be one of Valentine's Day, kind of romantic theme.
Oh, that's nice. Well, I won't be going with just Ron then. All right. Anything else you wanted to highlight, Ron?
Just to give a shout out to our driver Louise, who's on her way back as we speak.
Patience. Yeah, patience.
Again, she's reporting that there's not the greatest road conditions out there, so she's taking it slow, and we hope you do as well. If you can, especially if you encounter blowing snow or just little slick spots. So just be careful on the roads. I got more things in the paper. We have there's going to be an Olympian on the Italian hockey team, so we got coverage of that. We got check out our community events column. Check out everything in this week's paper. So again, just read us online or pick up a print copy. We're in Amherstburg, Harrow, Essex, and LaSalle. So make sure you check us out.
All right, Amherstburg, stay warm and have a great day.
Have a great day, have a great week, and see you back here on the airways of 107.9 FM next Wednesday at 12 noon and the replay at 4:30 p.m.